Hey, Chris Duke.
Hey, Kim Duke. How you doing?
I'm tired.
What an insane day.
Today was a crazy day.
By the time this comes out, Trump will be dead.
I don't think so. I have some conspiracy theories with this whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Ooh.
Let's start with, I think, okay, he's saying he has COVID. This is one of them.
Wait, should we introduce?
Yeah, we can introduce you. That way you can be a part of the
I mean,
conversation.
this is a like a strong dive into a podcast. Like,
yeah.
Off the bat, Trump mentioned conspiracy theory.
There's a high-speed chase at the hospital I went and did my CPR at
Today?
Yep. If I would have been there 5 minutes sooner, I would have maybe have gotten hit by this person.
Really?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I missed you.
Hey!
Hack jokes 101.
Nice.
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, we'll go back to the high-speed chase. First conspiracy theory is he doesn't...
Who's here?
Who is here?
Who is here?
You tell me.
Chris,
You
we
tell
got
me.
Chris, we got Kim.
Man, I'm so excited. This individual has done nothing but spread positivity. When you see people do well, a lot of times you see their personality change.
Yeah.
This individual's personality has only gotten better.
I've been an asshole.
You shut your
day
goddamn
one.
mouth.
Day one.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
introduce him, and then I'm going to say something after.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Ali Sultan.
Yay! It's
I
me.
am excited about your podcast.
Really?
We'll get to that
Okay,
later.
cool.
First conspiracy theory is...
But no, first, how about the speed chasing thing?
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I had to test on my CPR today or else I couldn't work anymore. Why is it really buzzy in my ears?
That's those fucking headphones. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
anyway. So I had to go test out for CPR and I'm driving and then the parking lot. So it's the smaller hospital in Monticello.
Mm-hmm.
There's roads. And I look over and there's all these cops and all these cars completely smashed up in a parking lot. And I'm like, how the hell did that happen? And I'm like, that must have been a high-speed chase. Cops everywhere. I have to walk into the hospital to do CPR. And I'm like, am I even going to be able to walk in? Because there was cops everywhere. And I'm like, holy crap.
What if it was Eric Trump?
That's what your mom said. That's really funny.
That's a really good point. He's in town today.
He was yesterday.
Yesterday. He got drunk and
Did he?
had
Is that true?
an evening with some prostitutes in town.
Really?
Some lot lizards.
I feel like
he
this,
woke up all fucked up on cocaine.
And then he had a high-speed chase.
This looks like a town that has one prostitute. Who's like from the Great Depression, and she's
Yeah.
probably in her 70s.
Yeah, yeah.
Charlene.
And she doesn't, Charlene, it's all about business.
Yeah. Yeah. There was...
Smokes a Virginia Slim and just like,
Yeah.
let's get it over with it.
Yeah, there was a Trump rally here yesterday.
Was there? Yeah.
I saw pictures of it. No one
Sad I
was.
missed it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm at work, but I did see pictures. So a girl that Chris was good friends with in high school, her mom and a bunch of people were on the other side of the road with their Biden signs. So I'm like,
Really?
good for you guys.
That's brave in this
That
town.
is for real. People are so mean.
Yeah.
So
I halfway through my drive, I was like, I should have brought my mega hat. This is,
So I can blend in a little
this
bit.
is unsafe.
now, in this neighborhood, you're safe though.
Yeah.
No, I'm always
This
safe.
is the most cultural neighborhood in the town of Becker.
Really?
Yeah,
I think
for
so.
sure.
Yeah.
3 black people.
We got
I was just kidding. Actually literally saw a black person, and I was like, You can leave. I said, I was like, brother, the war is over.
you're like, am I in Get Out? What's happening?
Blink if you need any assistance.
I wonder what our other neighborhood's going to be like. I haven't really seen
Where are
a
you
lot
guys
of
gonna
people-
go? Did you find a place already?
Yeah, in Becker. It's just on the other side of town. Bigger house.
Okay.
More space. I just keep thinking of my kids getting bigger and bigger, and they need more space.
Yeah, our kids are gonna be fat as fuck.
Yeah. They're gonna need-
Yeah, we're going to have hospital beds in their rooms. They're so big.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good. You used to get bigger space, bigger studio. I'm excited to come
Yeah,
back
the
to
room
that.
is bigger. Yeah, the other one. Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Congrats.
Anyway, conspiracy theory. So Trump apparently has COVID.
Mm-hmm.
One, he actually doesn't have it, but he's saying he's having it and saying it's not so bad. So he can tell everyone it's very much a hoax.
Yeah.
2, he gets it. He over exaggerates how bad it is, gets like intubated, and then the election can't go on because there's no one to go against because he's incapacitated.
That's an interesting, like he's buying himself time.
Yes.
so the economy can like improve or something? What's the whole
no,
point?
just so he doesn't have to keep doing debates, and then people start feeling bad for him.
That's what I thought. I was like, if the debate hurts him, like as far as like ratings, I can see where this would be a dope excuse to like not do debates, and then you just election time you're like, I'm good. You know?
Yeah,
It's so
but
weird.
I don't think the debates do any. Like, those people still are like, I don't care.
Yeah, everyone stayed the same. People who like Trump think he fucking crushed it, and
you know, I have very little hope for like him changing his base turning on against him, because one of my friends who's a Trump supporter is from Iran. He's like an immigrant.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, if I can get you on board.
What is it that he likes about Trump?
Well, he's another guy who's not educated. Seems to be a pattern, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. I know like that. He's a better man now, but I like growing up with him. Like I know he has some problematic views on like race and stuff like that. And the thing is, like a lot of Iranians kind of like think of themselves as white.
Okay.
So they can detach themselves from like, hey, they're not talking about us. We're the
That's
Parisians or whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty common though. Immigrants like going more conservative. Like people think that they're gonna come over here and be all Democrat, but most of them.
Right, that's very true. Like a lot of the like it's a funny part for me. Like it's like Republicans kind of like always like use Muslims to fear monger and grow their base, but if they know that actually that's also their base, like Muslims would love to be in a like that's a closer to their values than the Democratic Party.
Yep.
But then you go like ban Muslims and all that stuff. Then you like turn against them. But like if you know like these like the rednecks here are basically my dad's side of the family.
Oh, interesting.
You know, cousin fucking, just like just a bunch of fucking idiots. Like that's my dad's side of the family. Like I have brown trash family.
Brown trash. I
like
love it.
that.
But then Trump bans them, and I'm like, these are more votes you could have gotten. Like you should have let them in. You should have. They would love you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm right there with
Trump
you.
is like one of my uncles. That's the crazy part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can hear it. You're allowed to have gum, but you can't smack into the microphones.
We're having a good conversation. I get like really into it, so my mouth just chews.
I gotcha. I'm conservative in
Can
that.
you
I
stop
don't think.
heckling her? What's going on, man? This looks like the Trump Biden debate. Let her get a word in, man.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, you have a wonderful body. Maybe top 3 bodies I've ever seen, besides Ivanka's.
That'd be
Is that her
funny.
name, Ivanka?
You know, it'd be
Yeah,
a
it
good
is.
conspiracy if Ivanka also got it. It'd be like, y'all be smashing.
What if here's the third conspiracy, is that he actually has syphilis, and we're going to find out that Ivanka has it, and that'll
Gross.
be the tell.
Oh, that makes my stomach
You
turn.
took my joke and you made it worse. That's what
did.
you did.
Yeah, you did.
You're like, you took exactly the same structure and you switched the diseases to something unpleasant. Why would you do that?
That's just how I roll.
I was just kidding.
My brand is uncomfortable.
That's good. So you're saying that's the conspiracy you have? I thought, that's possible, but before that, there's some high official person who contracted it.
Yeah.
And I looked at the picture and it was like a hot lady, and it was I think it's his advisor. And I go, oh, that's probably what it was. I think
Interesting.
I think something going on between them, and then he spread it to his wife.
Is
I'm
that
gonna be
the lady that does the press conferences?
I forget their name, but I can look it up.
I'm gonna be real pissed if he doesn't get super sick from it. Like, I don't want him to die because I don't want Pence to have the opportunity, but I want him to get real sick.
I used to think like presidents and all these type of people have some sort of like access to some medicine or stuff that we don't have, because I've never seen a president sick, and I'm like, how is Trump not getting sick?
That's what I thought how has he
Right.
not gotten COVID this whole time?
How come you never seen Obama with the flu? You know what I mean? Like something is up.
Wow.
Something is fucking up. I've never seen a president sick in my
They're
life.
robots.
but they're always like, so I was like, oh, maybe they have access to some shit that we don't.
Well, yeah,
That's
they have
really
health.
interesting.
Guess what? They have health insurance.
They do. that's
Also, when you've got people making your food for you all the time, it's got to be pretty healthy stuff.
No, but it can be with the body that he's rocking.
Not him.
I mean? Yeah.
I'm saying like previously.
And the fact that he spends $70,000 on his hair a
Does
year.
he? For that look? Jesus Christ.
You haven't seen that meme going around too? I'm like, oh
My
gosh.
Oh, I was gonna say I went on break today and there were a bunch of Trump toupees on the ground.
Really?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
funny.
that's where they blew from.
If he dies, the good thing is they can do like a double. No one ever looks like there's no one else who looks like that.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not with the hair.
Although Borat, did you see that trailer?
does he look like? I didn't see it.
They gave him prosthetics to look like Trump.
Really?
It's pretty good. He busts in on a Pence rally.
Really? Fucking hilarious. I love Borat. I looked at the name. It's Hope Hicks.
Hope Hicks.
Oh.
If you look at a picture, you'd be like, yeah. That's.
He was getting down with her.
Sleazeball. You know what it is.
Yeah, he's such a.
Turns out you can get COVID by grabbing him by the puss.
Oh, shit! You know what's crazy? People are really uncomfortable about that. I find when I said it on stage every time.
Oh yeah, they hate it.
I've said it maybe 3 times. Anytime you say that, like quoting him or like trying to critique. The people are like, nah.
But he said, I mean,
but he said it.
I know. I guess hearing it doesn't make, I'm a female and hearing it like normal people say it does make me uncomfortable. But him though, ugh. Or any like gross old dude.
Yeah.
Old men are in general are just creepy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People like Biden is, of course, he's an old fucking dude. Yeah. Yes, he smells people's hair. You know what I mean? But
you think about it, like my grandma made me kiss her on the mouth.
Oh, disgusting. Up until
I was like 15 years old.
Smelling like menthol cigarette, I assume.
No, it would probably be better if your grandma
She smelled like jarred peaches from 1940.
Oh yeah, that's the official old people smell.
It's just canned food.
They smell like the garage sale.
Oh yeah,
they do, right?
Yeah.
Musty, cheap,
and angry, and like frustrated with the
Which
world.
grandma? You don't want to say it. That's fine.
No, I don't care. It was Lily.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Fuck you, Lily. I know you're listening to this.
She's
you
about
bitch.
1,000 years old.
She is 1,000 years old. She's drawn a picture of all the kids in heaven and Kristen.
No.
Okay.
So we went on a road trip, me and my younger brother, out to Idaho, which is where the motherland is for us. And my grandma was a painter, and she painted all of the grandkids into this big, beautiful painting.
Okay.
And I wasn't on it, and I was like, that seems odd. She even painted my brother who died before me. Mm-hmm. He died of SIDS. He was 2 months old, so she has no idea what he looks like. Wow. Total bullshit.
Wow.
So she's like, gather around, look at this fucking painting. One day, all of you are going to end up here. And she's like naming people and saying, this is heaven and da-da-da-da-da. And then she looks at me and goes, so stop fooling around.
Ah, that's so funny.
In front of all the family. And I was like,
that means she cares about you the most. She's like,
I can't put you on this painting.
I think these guys might go to heaven, but I want Chris to make it. He needs a little push, a little motivation.
Yeah, she's a little shittier than that, though.
Tough love. No, she hates you. That's it. I was trying to make you feel better. She fucking hates you.
You're the one she wishes she could forget about.
Yeah.
She probably forgets your name. She probably names all your brothers, including Michael, and then forgets your name. Like, what was the one underneath Michael? Okay, anyway, Matt, Josh.
That's funny. Are you the black sheep of the family?
I am the black sheep of the family,
yeah.
for sure. Well, I was for the longest time. Like, I was like the worst example, but then all my other cousins went fucking crazy and
they're
just as bad as me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're reasonable. You're like a married dude who, who's not who doesn't have an addiction problem?
You just got help for yours.
You're self-aware.
Everybody
cut that part
does.
out.
Yeah, cut that out.
But yeah, so that side of the family, there's a couple of cousins that are sweet, wonderful human beings, and I love them dearly. But
that's like my cousins.
Grandma's lived long enough, man.
Yeah,
she wants to get out of here.
That's nice. How old is she?
She's like 97, 98.
That's a lot.
She is
That's a
not
lot.
98. She's in her 80s.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
she is not.
What?
Lily?
I feel like you make it 80s, you know, man.
I think 70s is great.
70s, I feel like is young.
It's still young.
Especially
85,
with
I think
the
I
way
want
people take care of their bodies now. You know.
She looks like a pumpkin in November. Like
No, I'm telling
everything's
I have a grandpa who made it to like I think almost to 90.
Okay.
Everybody else like died super early. But I didn't meet my dad's side of my grandpa from my dad's side. I briefly met my grandmother from my dad's side. I grew up with my grandma from my mom's side, and she died when I was like 7. But grandpa made it all the way to almost like 90.
Wow.
In Yemen, you understand? Like that means,
Oh.
yeah, he would have been 300 here.
Yeah, for real.
With the fucking air quality and whatever he's eating there, he made it to 90. I was like, wow, I have hope.
You're gonna make
That's
it pretty.
very-
I
Yeah.
hope I have his genes.
Well, dude, since you were here last, the biggest takeaway from when you were here last time was, there's comics who talk about kind of depression and things that they've been through, but you were one of the first that was like, I see the thing, and these are the things that I can do to better my situation, and wanted to understand it. Like the thing that I continually see from you is wanting to understand and figure out how to do it better. And so I find that very impressive.
Thank
also, last time I hadn't actually met you in person, I don't think.
Really? Yeah, I think that was like the first time we met. Yeah.
I compared you to Drake for some reason.
I know. And I still think about that. And I go, I'm cool. I'm cool. He thinks I'm Drake. It's a compliment.
Because
Thank you, man.
you're French Canadian, right?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay,
Jewish as well. L'chaim.
That's right. I
L'chaim.
forgot
L'chaim.
he's Jewish. Oh, Drizzy.
All drizzle.
He got the beats.
Thank you
Kim
for
Dean.
that nice
know.
compliment. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Same to you. Same to you. All the positive dude. I also love.
Are you okay?
It was my hand.
I love people who like self-empower themselves. You know what I mean? Especially like now that I'm doing like video and all this stuff, realizing how much element that goes into it and how hard it is. I have more appreciation for what you do.
Oh.
I go, oh fuck yeah! I mean, like it's so easy to be like somebody else go edit this.
Yeah.
But you doing it yourself is like I think a form of like self-love and self-empowerment, and it's a lot of work. People should realize like one of these episodes probably take you a few hours, right? Like
I heard you because I was just listening to the episode with Sean, and you said at the top how one episode you listening for 40 minutes is 5 hours of work for me.
Yeah, because
and that's on the low end. Like if you consider like the setup and making sure all the levels, like it's you're a sound engineer, an editor, lighting, you do everything.
Yeah, and I have to like I don't have the privilege of having the studio just set. I have to like tear up and tear down.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the way it should be. If someone is buying into whatever you're saying, right, and they're like tuning in to listen, and they're giving you 30 to an hour of their life, you should quadruple the amount of time they put in, and that's fair. And I think if you continue doing that, it will like become something like that. That's the like. Like why should sometimes you have like a lot of people have podcasts where they just go to somebody's studio and they just blabber for 3 hours and they expect people to be like, oh, this is interesting. You know what I mean? You got to respect people's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, it happens where the conversation will go for like 2 hours and I try to cut it down, but it's not the goal.
It's not the goal, but also you're putting in the work. You're putting in all the time to make this sound really good, look really good. It's like, I think it's the best looking podcast in town. I'm not gonna lie.
Minus that one gash on the wall. My bad.
Yeah, gosh, I've painted these walls so many times.
And I'm a big fan of like actual home studios versus like actual studios because it has a warm feel to it. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm in the room with you guys.
Well, and Kim had the great idea of these chairs and the rug here.
The rug is amazing, man.
Yeah, because we did Chris didn't want the table anymore. I was like trying to, I'm like, we should keep the table. And he's like, people want to sit in comfortable chairs. And then we got the chairs. We're like, all right, these are comfortable.
Yeah, this feels easier. There's no barrier between us.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. Yeah.
So speaking of all of this inside baseball jazz, you have before you had a podcast with your mother.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that or?
You know, like I said, I'm big on not wasting people's time. So with that podcast, I knew it was like it's organic conversations, and that's how I wanted it. So it's not something I can prepare for and blah. I just wanted to like catch up with my mom and like get her to tell us some stories, and then we can have some. I want to have a record of her and her story.
Oh, yeah.
So once I achieved that within like the first 10 episodes, I was like, all right, now what? I don't want to keep going back in that circle. So I was like, let me have some more guests, and then I had a theme of bringing people like from different countries, and that was cool. And then that felt stale. As soon as it felt stale, I moved to something else, and then I was like, I think I've gotten what I needed to get out of this.
Yeah.
I don't want to just do the podcast for the sake of podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then now you're doing another podcast, which I love the idea of this podcast. Me, Chris, and my father-in-law, we went on a walk, and we were, because I'll let you explain what your podcast is about, but we were talking about movies that like, oh, if we could do this, and like we just kept naming movies. We're like, oh yeah, maybe that one. So it was like an hour-long conversation. Like, what movie? Like, Chris, like, one of my friends is doing this podcast, and this is what it's about. Like, what movie? And he asked his dad, and his dad's like, oh, that's a good question. We just kept naming movies back and forth, which is interesting because a couple of your episodes, I'm like, I named that movie.
Really? My Girl is one of them?
Yes. Yep. Isn't that funny? When I was walking, I said, My Girl. But that's man, I don't know if it would
Tommy
make me...
Boy aged horribly. Tommy Boy is awful. I was surprised. A couple of them I'm like, oh, this is almost flawless.
Yeah.
The Matrix, flawless. You can make that today, no problem. It's really good movie.
Yeah.
And even like all of it, even the way it's made, just beyond like the morals. But yeah, it's a fun idea, and I've had this idea maybe a couple of years ago. Me and Andrew Wagliner were on the road, and the song Kung Fu Fighting came up. Yeah. Everybody loves Kung Fu, and there's a line that says, "These funky Chinamen." And then Andrew goes, "You probably couldn't say that now." No, and I go, "Oh, wouldn't it be fun to have a podcast where we see if like old music things aged well?" So I started there.
Yeah.
And then it became music, movie, TV, and we did 10 episodes of that. Me, him, and someone else, Ahmed. Then it didn't feel right, and I didn't like production, and like the audio wasn't good.
It's odd.
And the video was like, it was 3 different angles. None of them looked alike. Yeah. I was there like in the experimental phase. I think the studio looks better now. So I was like, I don't want to like put out any of these that I'm not happy with them. And then pandemic started, and I was like, let me go back and then make it concise and just be about movies. Yeah. Because that was the most fun part of the segment. We spent like at least half an hour talking about movies. Yeah. Yeah. So, and we just see if they aged well, and it's fun. It's fun to like go back and watch people's favorite thing and experience part of their childhood. And people like their eyes lit up and stuff. Yeah, and you're like, oh shit, I'm talking to your child, like the child inside.
That is so cool.
And it's good. It's good to also see movies that you like loved, and you go, oh shit, this is kind of rapey. This is
for real.
This is aggressive for a PG-13.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's been fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah. You did the Ninja Turtles movie, right?
We did.
My gosh, my brothers loved
Casey.
that movie.
Casey's a horrible man.
Yeah. And those freaking turtles, the way they move though, like how they made that back then, like make them look so realistic. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's that part aged well, and it's a fun movie. Yeah. A lot of them, I'm like, oh yeah, it didn't age well, but I'll still watch it.
Yeah. What do you think of? I haven't listened to all of them.
Go ahead.
What do you think of My Girl?
My Girl, I think part of it didn't age well, and then part of it I thought that the humor was really good. It was a really smart, like, funny movie. I thought the characters were interesting. I didn't feel bad for what's his face dying.
Oh. I wonder if I'd cry watching that nowadays.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was a child.
I couldn't cry because once I figured out he's a bedwetter, he's a late bedwetter. And the way he stomped on that fish, I was like, "Oh, you're a serial killer in the making." I knew. That's how I saw it. I was like, "Oh, she would have been next."
Oh, the next Dahmer.
She would have been, exactly.
What if he was planning to kill her with the bees?
Exactly. No, I bet you. I
was
bet you.
foiled.
I bet you. That kid was up to something. And he fits the profile. He's just like almost dorky looking, but doesn't blink often. Yeah. I think. So yeah,
that's funny.
That was my takeaway from it.
It's funny you say that. My Girl made you cry because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles made me cry.
Did he?
Yeah.
What part?
What part?
When they made fun of Japanese people.
They really did. They leaned in hard.
Yeah.
Which is,
but when they go out onto that like ranch or cabin or whatever, and Leonardo is in the tub because he was knocked unconscious, and his brother is in there day after day waiting for him to come back. Because for me, brother stuff gets me every
I can see
time.
that you're projecting. I can see that. That makes sense.
That's like in Click. We went to Click.
Did you just call me a pussy?
Yeah, a little bit. We went to Click, and I was sitting between
the movie Click.
Yeah, the movie Click.
I love that movie.
Yeah, so I was sitting between Chris's dad and Chris, and like it's a father-son moment where he's dying, and they're both. I don't know if your dad was crying, but I could feel
he was getting choked.
I could feel he was emotional. I could feel his energy. And Chris is over here sobbing like a baby, and I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe these two should just sit by each other and cry together. Chris does not. Yeah, the only father-son movie you're like about is Field of Dreams.
Fucking Field of Dreams.
That's Chris's dad's favorite movie.
Really? I've never seen that movie.
That's one that probably someone will come on your show with.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
last one we did was Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of complicated to deal with.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely like it's outrageous.
Yeah.
But then I found out that Richard Pryor wrote the movie.
He did?
Yeah, so that changes things. And at first it's like, this is a lot of N-words in this movie. Willy-nilly. But then it's like, oh, Pryor wrote this. I can see that in his voice. And
that's wild. I didn't know that.
Funny movie. Yeah.
Wow. That changes my perspective on it.
Right? A little bit? Yeah.
Because I always think of when somebody brings that up, I'm always like, super racist.
And as like they have a mentally, I don't know what the new term is, handicapped person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's his name? The Mango.
Man, it's been so long since I've seen it.
Mango is literally just his character is like a mentally handicapped person, and they just like tie him up with chains and they unleash him on the village. It's really weird. He punches a horse. You don't remember this?
The thing I always think of is,
but it made me realize that I think part of something's being funny, it has to be somewhat inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my God, I'm like, this is problematic, but I'm laughing my ass off. A mentally handicapped person punching a horse got me on the floor laughing. And I shouldn't. I was like, it's morally wrong.
I know, I'm laughing at it right now. I'm
but
like, ooh.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's
like the Water Boy, you know? I was like,
oh my God, yes.
So fucking funny.
Yeah. One movie I brought up too on our walk, and I don't know if you've ever seen this, is What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Because Leonardo DiCaprio plays a handicapped person in that movie, and it's like nowadays, it's like when people play handicapped people, people want them to be, yeah.
But then but that's kind of unfair because like, are they good actors though? It's Leo. Yeah. That's the point of acting is having the range to go, oh, I can play someone who's handicapped.
That movie has a lot of.
It's like we don't ask serial killers to go and play serial killers.
Exactly. Robert like when he did blackface in that movie, Pineapple, I actually liked it. I was like, this is the one guy who can get away with it because it's also making fun of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not like, the joke is not that he was in blackface. The joke was that he was pretentious. And,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that it's so hard to get people to grasp irony.
Yeah.
Like, there's this actor, David Koechner, who is like, I'll do any role as long as it's in an ironic way and not in an actual harmful way.
Right.
So he like really dissects, like, if I'm going to play this outlandish misogynist dude, it better be to make fun of that guy.
Yeah, but then the tricky part is people see it from their perspective, right?
Yeah.
I can see someone watching Blazing Saddles and be like, yes,
Yeah.
I love this movie.
It's insane, like the amount of people that got away with, like Steve Martin was. What is it? The
Cheaper by the dozen.
He does say the N-word in Cheaper by the
Does
Dozen.
he really?
No, he doesn't.
Does
I was
it?
gonna say, no way.
All I remember of Steve Martin in a movie is him going, "Hey yo, what's a dealio?" Like that's when I stopped watching anything.
Oh.
It was just so corny.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
But there's God, it's like one of his most
in a
famous.
durag.
It's It's not called the Joker, or is it the Joker?
The Joker.
Yeah,
I don't remember Steve Martin in the latest.
Yeah, I didn't see him
picture
in
of
that
that
either.
This was in
Joker.
the 70s.
Oh, he played a Joker in the 70s. So what was the problem?
Not the Joker as we know him today.
His cousin.
He plays just this asshole.
Okay.
And like so he's supposed to be ignorant, but they still let him say the N-word.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's fine if that's what the character intended to be. Like, okay, if you're gonna make, say, a movie about slavery, and then I hear slave owners calling black people schmucks, I'm gonna be like, this is dishonest.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The jerk?
The jerk. There we
Okay.
go. That's what I was looking for.
I mean, yeah, like if his character was developed enough and there's a point to it, I think you get away. Like I said, slavery movies, I don't want to see a slavery movie that's not like showing the ugly truth, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, be like, you black bastard, I'll walk out of the movie theater.
But see,
that's
like
not what you
his
said.
character it's more in the sense of like I forget exactly how it is, but he's saying how black people actually use the N-word.
Oh, he's doing it that way.
He's doing that, so it's like you're more trying to get people to think that he's so ignorant that he doesn't see the problem in it.
Interesting.
But you're also giving. So there's all.
I think we should discuss this movie together. We should
about,
watch
you
it
know,
and we'll do it together.
When I was
Okay.
just looking at his filmography, what about
Filmography.
Three Amigos?
I've never seen the Three Amigos, but
That's.
I've seen clips and shit, man.
Do you think that one aged well?
I'm sure there's like
I'm curious.
slapstick type of shit. I'm sure
Yeah.
they beat up a woman in one scene.
Something.
Like,
or punch a horse.
Punch a horse.
It's I wonder what it would be problematic in that movie because the thing that like used to be super common was white people playing
Black people?
playing like people of color roles. So I wonder if there's any white people
Yeah.
who played Hispanics in Three Amigos.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's like what's that famous movie about a robot and the main character, the scientist, is an Indian guy, but he's not actually Indian. He's a white guy who played an Indian.
Is it Apu?
No, not a food.
Just kidding.
But he kind of looks like Wally.
Oh!
You know what I'm talking about?
Gosh, what's that movie called? It's from the 80s.
Yep.
So
Old
there's
one.
in the 80s they made a movie about a robot that
Oh, God,
spoke
no, I
Indian, like or
the guy who made him
was Indian,
was supposed to be an Indian scientist.
but it was a white guy playing an Indian. Hilarious! I love those things. There's Indiana Jones. I watched it once. And there's a lot of that too.
Short Circuit.
Yeah.
1986. That was the year I was born.
Yeah. Okay. Those are some good movies, man.
Wow. Crazy.
It is. It's bananas.
Man,
Yeah.
look at-
When you start to look back on things.
What
and
about this one? I know aged well.
Birth of a
Howard
Nation.
the Duck.
Howard the Duck. I have not seen it. I have not.
Chris hates that movie.
everyone hates
I have
it.
not
I
seen
love
it.
that movie. There's good songs in that.
Some lady, the duck bangs a human.
The duck bangs a human like sex.
And the duck is really creepy looking. You've never seen
But
it?
wait, so the duck was the transgressor? That's
He's
what you're
the
saying?
protagonist.
Interesting. A duck. Oh, so wait. How isn't he a Marvel character?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, they made a movie about him. It was
I think
absolutely horrible.
That's funny. 1986.
Oh, I would
too.
love to watch that movie. I think that character is really funny.
Yeah, for sure.
But they just misused him.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's really funny.
Hilarious.
1986.
People are crazy. People
are
make
crazy.
movies about the weirdest shit,
Yeah.
People watch it.
and people watch it. Which is why Trump's in the office now.
Yeah, you know what's
It's
funny?
one big movie.
I will say this: like, you watch these movies, you kind of understand why the Me Too movement exists.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, men culture. Like, if that's where we learn to to how to like treat and get a woman. How else are we supposed to not objectify women? Are you kidding me?
That's
Every
really interesting.
movie, from like Teenage Turtle, like a Ninja Turtle, whatever.
Yeah.
Like really, like PG films, they have the character. It would be like the female will be really strong and the boss or whatever, and this guy's an asshole, and he just keeps being an asshole to that person, and then at one point they're like, all right, okay, and then they're together.
Wow.
So they teach dudes to be like, oh yeah, just continue being a douche, and it's gonna work out well.
And
for
they'll
you.
just lighten up.
Yeah, like there's a scene where Casey just like grabbed her by the neck and pushed her down to a chair, and then she gives in.
Really?
And that's a PG movie.
That is
the other
crazy.
weird thing.
That's
It's like
insane, right?
The shit that you could get away with in PG movies.
Insane.
So weird.
I don't think you can get away with that today, but
No.
like
No.
then.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I think
like
the
back in
next
day.
generation, like Z, is gonna be good, but like our generation who like watch all these movies, I'm sure that did something to your mind.
Well, it's like all the chick flicks I used to watch when I was in high school. It's like even thinking like John Tucker Must Die. Like that guy was an asshole and treated women like shit.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, and those girls were just okay with it.
yeah. I feel like from your perspective, it teaches you to be like, oh, that's okay to be treated
Yeah,
like shit.
yeah, because he's an attractive guy.
Well, and the like most recent example of that, people had a big problem with Chris Pratt's character in Jurassic Park because the scientist was trying to be super serious, and he kept doing that like, oh, lighten up, and eventually just wore her down.
Why don't you just smile?
Yeah, shit like that, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Man.
Yeah. There you go.
They mask it in other things by saying like, "Oh, I bet you don't have any fun, huh? Let me guess, you're a tight ass."
Yeah. Yeah. I see that.
That's why Disney's making all these badass women movies.
I
like
know.
all these superheroes,
Sick
like
of
these
them.
girls. Like Mulan, the new Mulan. It was like she is a bad ass.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. Do you guys watch
so
it already?
good. Yeah.
You have the Prime, whatever. What?
Well, yeah, we paid the
Who do I
$30
have to talk to get this movie? Because
Disney Plus.
I have Disney Plus. I have the regular
You
Disney
have to pay
Plus.
that $30 for it. It's gonna be free in December.
No. So I have Disney Plus, and I said on top of the Disney Plus, I needed something else.
Yeah, you have to pay that extra $30 for that movie.
No, I
You're
got that
talking
part.
about- I know what you mean.
I'm willing to pay the $30.
Oh,
I pay $6.99 for Disney Plus.
but they want you to have the Amazon Prime part of it.
What?
I don't know. I'm confused.
There's a bunch of different, like when it rolled out, like what was the Google Fire thing, or like we couldn't use it on our Roku.
I have a
and-
Fire Stick.
we did it on our Fire Stick.
And you only have the $6.99 a month thing.
Yeah,
That's what I have. I tried to buy it and I was ready to watch it.
yeah. I wonder because like it was tied to Verizon.
I had to do it on. I had to buy it on my phone. I couldn't buy it on my Fire Stick, so I had to go on Disney Plus on my phone and buy it, and then I could get it onto our TV.
Oh, okay. That's probably what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's so good.
I was ready to watch it.
Yeah,
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
back.
That's the only two things they got going on. All right. As far as like new shit, as the Mandalorian and the dog guy. Remember the dog guy? What's his name?
Caesar.
Caesar is on
Yeah,
that.
that's a good one.
I love Caesar, bro.
Remember?
Caesar.
Remember the guy that what's the thing that he usually does to dogs to get them to like?
Oh, Caesar Milan.
Caesar Milan.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He would.
He makes that sound. Sit.
yeah.
I like him, but also like borderline you're abusing these dogs.
Have you seen the video where he gets bit?
By a dog?
Yeah,
Oh, I would love that.
it's hilarious.
I would love to watch that.
I'm gonna put the clip up right here.
I bet you he's also the type, once the camera's off, he bit that dog back.
He
He's like, he must know who's alpha.
he kicked it in the throat.
He kicked the dog in the throat? That's, well,
Well, I
that,
mean, it's a golden retriever.
that's,
or a
oh
golden
no,
lab.
that's sad.
Golden lab.
Airbud.
God
Did that one age
dang.
well? I
Bigger
don't
dog.
know.
He bit him right on the forearm, so it was like,
No.
It's really
Well,
intense.
now I don't like Caesar at all.
Yeah, now he's off Disney
know, there's
Plus.
well, what was he supposed to do?
You know,
Pet the dog.
be
kiss
like, I don't know, don't kick it in the throat. And then you can,
If
like,
I was getting-
their nose is sensitive. You know,
Yeah.
maybe like, boop, on the nose.
What,
or-
what we are trained in restraint training is if someone bites you, you feed into their bite. So if Chris bites me and I push into his mouth, your jaw opens. Because if you start pulling away, that's where it tears the skin. So if you ever go around,
smart.
someone bites you for some whatever reason.
I wish I've known that because I got bitten by a dog a few times.
I don't know if it works with dogs. I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
Because they got to open. If you're pushing your arm into their mouth, they got to open it.
Interesting.
I know it works with kids, naughty kids, because I've been bit at one of my previous jobs, and you just push into it because then they open up their mouth.
There you go.
Are you pulling it up now?
Yeah.
Those kids look like they're little shits.
With kids, I usually just say, "Daddy's leaving," and then they start crying.
And then they bite you?
And they leave.
Oh, okay.
I just.
Oh, my foot fell asleep. I sat on it too long.
So many commercials.
Gosh, YouTube making money somehow.
Okay.
Well,
All right. You looked at your phone and then you threw it on the ground. I don't know what happened.
These chairs are not conducive to dropping bones.
Yeah.
You gonna show him?
Are you trying to show me him?
That's a
I don't even know.
lab.
I'm very sensitive when it comes to animals. I almost don't want to see this.
Why? I'm gonna watch it.
I want him to see. I want to see him get bit, but I don't want him. I don't want to
watch
see
the
that.
kicking in the throat.
Yeah, that's sad. That's
Gosh,
like
who does that guy look like? Like, who does Caesar look like?
Caesar looks like a dog himself. Does he not? He's got dog energy big time.
Does. Like a dog with mascara.
All right.
I feel
How
like
did this happen? You just rewound it so far.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, he didn't really kick him in the throat. He kicked him in the legs.
that's different.
Yeah.
See, you know what? This is some fake news by you.
Yeah, Chris, you're terrible.
Well, he kicked in the area of the throat.
No,
You trying to show him?
Yeah, he's
I'll see it. I'll see it.
that didn't upset me very much. I mean,
Okay.
he was just trying to get the dog away.
Oh, that's a cute ass dog, man. That's an adorable.
You know,
little
and
dog.
if some dude came into my yard and I didn't like him and I knew he was on Disney Plus, I might bite him too.
There you go. There you go.
I think Airbud's on Disney Plus now that we talk about Airbud.
Oh my god, that's a cute fucking dog. It's a she, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Wow.
I burnt my fingers today on my curling iron. I started rewatching Glee, and that definitely would not age well. The things
Glee?
that absolutely
Most
not.
of the TV.
They dropped the R word a lot.
Really? Mm-hmm. But the R word was kind of almost medical for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, and there's handy capable people in the show.
Yeah, and they call him that.
Well, so Sue Sylvester, the cheerleading coach, she has a sister that has Down syndrome, and then she gets really close with this cheerleading girl that has Down syndrome, and then she has a baby that ends up having Down syndrome, and then one of the Glee kids said something, your R word baby, and I was like, it's like when you hear words like that, everything in your body just clenches.
Yeah,
and they
that's rough.
lots of like making fun of homosexuality and
a lot of gay panic stuff. Gay panic is very like big punchlines in all
Yeah.
movies, especially.
I was like, oh, this is not aging well, but I'm gonna keep watching it.
Yeah, gay panic. That's a good word for it.
I think that's what they call
Anyway,
it.
I
I
was
think that's
watching-
what the woke people call it.
Yeah, I was watching it, and I went to grab my curling iron to keep doing my hair, and I grabbed the actual curling iron.
And you said the R word?
I was like, oh gosh, I have to go
Some
do
words,
CPR.
you know, the thing is like some words are fun to say and they just roll off the tongue well.
Yeah,
That's one of the words.
It
Yeah.
is.
It really is, but you know, you do your best.
yeah.
Dude, and
Because-
Like I like to throw a Jesus Christ out there sometimes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've said it, but our one golden child says it when he
Right.
plays video games, and he doesn't think we can hear him.
they both
but-
say it.
What?
Yeah,
Layla
Layla
better.
says it.
Oh, these.
Layla said
darn.
it at Grandma's house, and I heard Josh go, "What?"
That's
Gosh,
funny.
these kids.
Yeah, I love it. I'm evil though. So.
Heathen
Yeah,
parents
I mean,
over here. Oof.
Yeah.
They just know their crowd. They know not to say it in front of other people. That's
It's interesting having to adjust like your own like language to kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to. Otherwise, they cause a problem at school, I'm assuming.
My parents grew up, or not grew up, but
your parents have grown up.
I grew up with them saying R's for L's.
What the fuck
So
is
like,
R's for L's?
I love you.
Oh, okay.
So like it. I mean, it wasn't until I was older that I realized like it's mocking Asian accents.
Oh, is that what it is? I don't know.
Oh.
So like saying Riri or Riri. That was said a ton.
Okay, but like, all right, let's talk about accents real quick.
I'm glad you brought that up.
You know what? Because
I can't do any, so
I have a dilemma, right? I was like, accents, or some of them are just inherently funny. You know, what I mean, Indian accent, hilarious. Japanese, like that, like that, like that. That shit is hilarious. Some of the, a lot of the Asian ones tend to be top notch funny. German is funny.
Yes.
I guess Italian kind of goofy.
Mm-hmm.
All accents are funny to you if they're not your own. Because like Minnesotans, like we have a certain accent. People in different states, like New Yorkers, make fun of our accent.
Yeah.
But to us, New Yorkers sound funny. There isn't anything inherently evil to think another accent is funny.
Yeah.
I think we just I don't know if I buy into being offended by someone doing an accent. It's different if you're trying to like say intentionally you're trying to disrespect someone.
By their accent.
By Malik, and then if you go to like say a 7-Eleven in the Indian I was working, be like, thank you very much, like that, you're being a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right? But if you're at home with your white kids and you want to say, I love you, you fucking go for it. You love them. You love them as much as you can. That's how I see it. No harm done. And, then you gotta tell them. You go, hey, dude, as soon as you leave this house, we don't,
no more. What's funny is that I'm from like northern Minnesota, so my accent can get real thick, especially when I'm angry. My O's get a lot longer. And Chris's whole family's from everywhere else but here, and none of them have accents. So it's like they would always sit there and make fun of my like, oh, what? Because I say, oh, for cute.
Yeah.
It's a very Minnesotan thing to say. So then they would all make fun of me until they all started dating Minnesotan girls.
Yeah. So I think what I'm saying is like accents by themselves, hilarious. When they're attached to a person, now you're in trouble. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Like I love doing.
I wouldn't even make fun of a German in front of a German dude.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just like it's a person. Yeah. Why would I mock who you are?
I guess I've never done that. There's some things. Like there's certain phrases, like when I try to disarm someone. Have you seen Madagascar?
I have.
King Julian is the lemur, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and he has like I don't know. It's
a goofy accent. I don't think it goes with any.
Yeah, I know. So I do that accent, and I get worried that people think that I'm making fun of.
Can you do the accent right now? I just want to say the word.
So King Julian, he talks like this.
That's definitely Indian.
Okay, yeah,
Indian with like he's like an Indian guy who lives in South Africa. That's what it sounds like.
Oh,
it's like an Indian and also African hints of African in it.
Yeah.
And I mean, African can be many different languages or different accents, but specific to like I feel like. I don't know, it has like maybe a Liberian feel to it.
That's interesting. Yeah. I've never had somebody pin it down before. But yeah, that's the type of accent that he does.
That's a fun one. Yeah, you just do it by yourself, you know what I mean?
Well, I think you're a little sensitive too, because when you shot a wedding, Chris likes to do Southern accents.
Does he? Oh, me too. Kelsey hates it.
So he likes to do that.
Tell you what? I do it a really bad one.
Yeah. And someone at a wedding was like, "That's really offensive."
I think that was bullshit. I think the person that I was working for made that shit up.
Oh, that's right. It was the person you were working for that you no longer work for.
But let me hear
the Southern one.
Well, you see, I like to get down.
That's so good.
Nice and Swiss.
That's so good. That sounds so fucking good. I wish I could do that. Say that again.
So I was saying, I just love having you over to the house.
I love that, dude. That's amazing.
It's like the one
That's
animal.
That's a sweet, old Southern dude who, who you wouldn't want to leave your kid with. You know?
Yeah.
A little bit of the whisper.
Yeah. There's like a tooth missing, like in the front.
Yeah. There's a lot of teeth missing for sure.
Yeah.
It's like that one creature or animal in a Goofy movie. That's what that sounds like.
Also sounds like the guy from Family Man, the older dude.
Oh, so you're talking about this
very close.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm.
That's really good, man. I'm jealous of like native speakers because it's so easy to do an accent if you're brought up with it. So for me, it's really difficult to do like Southern accents or whatever. But I can do like the Arabic accents like with no effort because different dialects and different accents, and I can do them like no problem. but I can't like do a British one, and I want to.
Chris is British and Australian get a little messy together.
Oh
Yeah, they get muddled up.
I can't do any accents at
You
all.
can't?
None. No.
Maybe that's what. Maybe I just don't have the. I feel like
I just don't
could
have it in me.
if I.
Yeah. Maybe you should have been doing that during quarantine. It's just really.
I've
working
been, but it's all hard to do that when your girlfriend is like, "Stop with the fucking accent." I'm gonna leave the room. She threatens to leave the room.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say, like the reason why I brought that up was like, I'm like Todd Glass. You know who that is?
I know Todd Glass. Yeah,
so he has adjusted his comedy throughout the years because he thinks that if you don't think you can do your act without XYZ, like these certain words that are problematic, then you're not good at what you do. So he's adjusted some of the things that he says. And so I've been thinking about
Such
that.
as
like,
what?
Like retarded.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh,
it.
you
That's
said
it.
it. You can't say
That's
it.
oh shit!
You
Offended.
can't- It's if you call someone
But
that.
it's fine.
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I feel like that's fine. So, but I'm gonna cut that particular part of the clip,
Retarded.
and then I'll put it on the internet as a sizzler.
Just have it on a loop. Chris saying that.
So I think, yes, that's an easy one to avoid, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't need like the trigger, you don't need those certain things unless you have to, unless you're quoting someone,
Right.
But if it's like, oh, that's, and if you're using it as adjectives, then you're so lazy,
But the thing that I've been thinking lately is like there are plenty of white accents that I can make fun of
Oh yeah.
and not have to or utilize, like Russian.
Yeah, context is everything. If you
Yeah.
are on stage and you're a white guy, now it's no longer you in your room or your house. Now anybody can be in the audience, and there's already like racial tension. It just makes you feel it makes you look insensitive, unless you've already built like a fan base and they trust you and they kind of.
Sure.
And America knows what you are. Like CK used to before his death. He used to do all these crazy premises and like anything went with him because people already like, oh, well, we know this guy, we can trust him. You have to build a trust before you just jump into that.
Yeah. I was like, he died.
Well,
I
like,
got
I
it.
I changed one of my jokes up, and like so I have this joke about Akon introducing electricity into this city in Africa. And in the beginning,
Kim goes, oh.
yeah, in the beginning, I did an African accent.
Let me hear it. I have to.
It's not that great.
Let's look. Come on, you said retarded.
I did
Yeah,
say
you did
retarded.
too.
So the joke goes, Akon introduces electricity into this town.
Which is true.
And-
He did.
Which he does, yeah.
And
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the
This is a great premise.
The funniest fact from that, so like everything started to change for the better. The best fact that changed was that kidnapping went down 65%.
Really?
Yeah,
That's true?
that
Because
was
of
one
what?
of the facts. So that's where
Kidnapping went down 65% because
Because
all
of a
people can
light.
see him.
Yeah.
and
Like,
that's
oh,
where my joke was.
interesting.
I said, so question is, how bad of a kidnapper are you that one street lamp fucks up your whole plan? And so I would say I would imagine the kidnappers.
You're getting nervous. I can feel
I'm getting
it.
real nervous.
That's like
You're
Because
probably
now I'm like, if I
sweating.
don't do it well enough,
This is a loose episode, bro. Anything goes.
Yeah.
Get canceled.
okay, so when the sun goes down, we all go into town and fuck a street lamp.
That's a really good. That's very good. That's very good. That's good.
But what
feel-
I started
also,
to do-
you have to like if you get close enough to the accent, it's easier. You know what I mean? Again,
Like it's the cadence. I love the
Yeah.
cadence of like. But so what I do now is I go. So I like to imagine the kidnappers, and they go, "All right." So as soon as the sun goes down, they're all Australian in Africa, by the way, and I just do that.
yeah, and it works fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
like,
less
there's ways to.
The joke is there. The joke doesn't. That's the thing. The if the joke needs the accent is not a good joke. But if you can substitute, if you can just do it with your regular voice and it gets a laugh, then it's a keeper.
Yeah.
Then an accent can enhance it. That's how I would measure a joke. I go, oh, okay, this is the punchline, And if I take out the accent, it never gets a laugh. That means it's a bad joke. That means people are laughing just because of the accent.
Right.
But if I do it in a regular voice and it gets a laugh, then I do it with an accent and it gets a bigger laugh. Now I'm just using my skill set to enhance a punchline.
And that's why that's why I always think of Todd Glass, because that's what he was saying. Really, was what you were just saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, glad I got that African accent out.
There you go.
I do love their
I can't wait to
accents.
shop off this episode. I just
Okay, well, it's time for our favorite segment. You ready, Kim Duke?
You get canceled.
Fuck!
No.
Is
No,
it
this
time
is-
for me to
yeah.
open the chocolate?
Yeah, what's the name of this
Oh, my-
schnackadoo?
It's 55% off, by the way, mark price. Truffeties de France?
Truffets?
Truffettes de France? Is this a French dessert?
Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
Got it from World Market. Who knows where?
That looks
So
really
yeah,
good.
pop one of those bad boys out. Don't eat
Don't
it
eat it
just
yet.
yet,
Okay.
because we got to do a sniff.
Okay. Am I
didn't even-
sniffing it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Can I open it?
Yeah, you can open
Okay.
it. You'll grab one, pass it around, puff, puff, pass.
Okay.
Well, you got to grab
Am I-
one first.
Yeah, tip it out.
Tip it out and give it to
Yeah.
you. I figured with
No,
COVID.
no, you can grab your own and then we'll grab our own. You just tip it over, yeah.
Okay, I'm not keeping the whole thing. I forgot how to play this.
Did you end up taking the whole snack the last time?
I feel like I did.
You liked it. I can't remember what it was, but I
did,
think you liked
yeah.
it, and you're like, I'm going to take this
That
with me.
happens a lot, though, where we give the snack to somebody.
Ooh.
It smells very chocolatey.
It's dark chocolate. Smell.
It is. So good for our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yes.
Some sort of nuts in there.
Oh,
Yeah, what
all
kind
right.
of nuts are in
It
there?
reminds me of those Mr. Good bars.
Mm-mm.
That nutty smell.
I love nuts.
Get them nuts in your mouth.
Oh, shit.
You can't say that.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Huh. Dusty, but then soft. Softer than I thought.
Same. I don't mind it. It's not like amazing, but
Almost like I can't believe it's dark chocolate. It's really
that should be their slogan.
Is
But
it dark
because
chocolate?
it's so chewy, or because it's so soft? Yeah, what's it say on there?
It's in French.
Oh.
Oui.
All of it's in French?
I think so. Oh, 70% cocoa. Filled with French truffle, it says.
Ooh.
That's why it's soft.
Real good. Real good. Okay, if you can pass it back.
I know, I was like,
I mean, if you want another one, go right ahead.
I'll take one more. Thank you.
have you had any COVID scares?
Have I had? No, no, personally, but at first you're all like paranoid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Someone sneezes at the park, you're like, oh, who were you with? Fucking grab him by the
Who
collar.
were you with? Tracy.
But no, so far, knock on wood, so far so good. My younger sister got it like a couple months ago.
How'd she do?
She has asthma, so I was worried, but then
fuck.
she beat it within like 11 days.
Nice.
That's still, like, you think, though, 11 days is so long.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the average influenza, it's like 3-4 days.
Well,
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I'm making
I'd
that
say,
up.
No, that's like when you like incorporate
Like
recovery time.
Yeah, but people are, like, fatigued for months. With COVID.
So it's like getting Lyme's disease.
Actually, that's not.
some really weird. People get some weird symptoms sometimes. Someone
Like,
had,
I kind of like, it'd be kind of nice not to be able to taste, because then I would just eat healthy shit all the time. But then it's like, I love food.
but also you'd be so fatigued you can't even eat.
The
True.
yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I wish. I'm hoping I'm like like the guy who doesn't get any symptoms. And
yeah.
You were asymptomatic and you didn't even know you had it. I know.
yeah, that's my wish.
I know.
That would be pretty rad.
Or-
There are some people who get the cold and it doesn't, like, it's just sniffles. They hardly get anything.
Yeah.
And then there's other people, they get headaches and it's a whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
I'll know when Chris gets COVID. The whole world will. He'll be whining about it for months. I'm just teasing.
You are the worst.
God. He gets that man cold. I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
you've read about that.
Does
you,
he?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're looking up diseases, I'm sure you read about the man cold.
I have.
We can have the same cold, and I'm doing dishes and all that, and Chris is laid up in bed for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Oh my.
I'm just kidding. Take that out. That's mean.
The last time we got sick, I was up and running around and you were dead.
What do you guys get sick with?
I forget what it was. But
One time, one Christmas, we both had the flu
Together. Yeah.
together. It was miserable.
That's awful.
It was the worst.
It's already not fun being sick.
And then when your other
deal with
person's
someone
sick, and then we had kids, and it was Christmas. We couldn't even do like a real Christmas with them. Oh, it was miserable.
Sneeze on them.
yeah, vomit on them actually.
Yeah, there was so much vomiting. We only had one bathroom at the time too.
I think I got.
Oh yeah.
I had the swine flu back when that was
What?
around. Remember the swine flu?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I'm one of Obama's victims. So when Trump goes, he did a bad job. I'm like, yes, he did not. I got it. So fuck.
So you're
Obama.
not gonna get COVID if you had swine flu.
You think so?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
hope so.
I think you have a lot of antibodies just from having swine.
I had swine flu. I had the typhoid fucking flu back when I was like 9 or 10.
Holy shit.
You've got all the antibodies.
My body has gone through some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm also
COVID,
I
back
grew up.
away.
Yeah, I grew up in like I remember in the streets there was like a water fountain that looked disgusting, and I remember drinking from it.
Yeah, you're fine.
I think I'll be all right.
I think you'll be all right.
I think I'll be okay. My family in Yemen all got like COVID, and they're old and shit like that, and they're older, not just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
healthiest people, and they're like just
Yeah.
smoking cigarettes,
Wow.
eating sweets throughout the whole thing. So,
Maybe
Wow.
that's what I should do is start smoking cigarettes and
Nah.
eating
nah.
You're chewing Nick Rickham now. Why? Because you're trying.
Are you a smoker?
Yeah, I love smoking.
He picked it up in treatment.
Man,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He picked it up in treatment. You're trying to quit substances,
You
and then he
substituted your habit.
Yes.
We talked about this before, though, you and I, because you quit smoking, right?
2 years, 7 months, 25 days.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, man. I don't even think about it, but
Yeah. Now talking about his gum, he's got to get it out. I think he's addicted to his gum now.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
nicotine in itself is not inherently bad for you.
It's the stuff in cigarettes.
Yeah.
We were laying in bed, or were we in bed? And you're like, "Do you know all the bad stuff that are in cigarettes?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "There's less bad stuff in methamphetamines," which is
Oh,
true.
yeah, that's why.
But
if you
don't do
wanna go
meth either.
organic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to
That's
see
true.
like a
meth is
a
keto.
meth head just judging a smoker. It's like there's rocket fuel in that shit. Huh?
Yeah, rat poison?
Rat
Yeah.
poison. What the fuck you doing? with your
Laundry
body,
detergent. Is there laundry? Yeah.
buddy?
Laundry detergent.
That's hilarious. And then he cracks open a light bulb and starts huffing.
That's interesting. So you swapped it for the. I'm trying to remember. Think of what I switched my addiction to.
Did you switch it to sweets?
You know what? I didn't eat sweets for the longest time,
Oh.
and now I do. That could be it.
Chris too. Chris never ate sweets, and now he has a sweet tooth.
Really?
Yeah.
I do have a sweet tooth, and I never did for like a long ass time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
I make banana bread and shit like this now.
God,
Yeah.
that is a rough one. I can eat a whole fucking loaf of banana
So
bread.
good.
Especially if you
So
put some
good.
chocolate
Oof.
chips in that.
Looks like I'm smuggling a loaf of banana bread under my shirt today.
Yeah, man. And I'm trying to like now justify about making it somewhat like healthier. So I bought like oats flour,
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then I just put like a bunch of bananas in there, and then some cinnamon, and then maybe a little bit of like coconut sugar,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
and then it tastes good. Tastes
Yeah,
good.
that's a healthier way to make it. Yeah. Yeah.
All that fiber.
Those fitness people would be like, "You're doing it right."
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I chase it with ice cream.
And not the keto stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of keto, actually not speaking of keto, I'm gonna take a hard right. You, when all of the stuff, the turmoil that happened in Minneapolis, which by the way, I get calls anytime somebody from out of state calls my work and is like, "Where are you guys located?"
Really?
I'll say Minnesota, and they go, "Oh, where all those mobsters are."
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the target?
Man, fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But you
It's-
got motivated and did some really positive things.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, I did, Kim.
I remember that.
You think I'm just going around saying, "I love you"? and calling people the R word without doing some sort of decent.
Gotta put that good energy into the
I got
atmosphere.
balance. I think of myself as a very balanced person as far as like, I'm not necessarily like, I mean, like a really like fucking humanitarian type of dude.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a total asshole either. I like to be centered.
You want to be in the middle.
Yeah, I want to be in a place where people don't have a lot of expectations.
Oh, interesting.
So when I do fuck up, they don't go, look, he's not on the pedestal that we put him on. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're just person.
I just want to be a person.
Well, that's what every time I see you doing something, it's that vibe. It's like, it feels like, there's an opportunity for me to do a good thing, so I did the good thing.
Yeah, and
it's not like you're rubbing it. Like I feel like sometimes people do good things just so they can show people that they're doing good things and get that good attention.
Yeah.
But you, at all, when you were doing what you were doing, it didn't seem like that at all.
No, I just realized the power of social media and how you can help. Like, okay, so Shay Webby, she's like who started like an outside food pop-up where like the neighborhood can come and grab groceries. When I saw her the first time, she had one table. Then second time I saw her, she had 3 tables and she was with someone else. Then I saw that and I was like, oh, that's wonderful. What a great idea. Because now like the stores are closed and some of the communities that they're serving, like people don't have cars to go and get shit. Yeah. And some people are just legitimately like struggling because of COVID and unemployment or whatever. So it's like, oh, that's a good idea to like help that out. So I just put on my social media. If anyone wants to throw in a Venmo or whatever, I'm going to go on a grocery run.
Yeah.
Then like $2,000 out of that. Like a lot of people send money. Now I'm like, oh fuck, I need a truck. Then I talked to Bob Edwards.
Oh yeah.
And this guy, like fucking his dad energy came up and he just loves organizing and doing all this stuff. So he got involved and then we put everything up in the morning, like about 3 tables. By that end of that day, it spawned into 3M containers.
Whoa!
Giant containers. Like I'm telling you, like we had like $100,000 worth of diapers at least. Wow. And I think by the end of this, like we served maybe like 6,000 families.
Wow, that is beautiful.
But that all started because people really wanted to do good. Just everybody was looking for an opportunity to do good, and B, we use our social media to be like, here's an opportunity. We made it easier because I'm one of those guys. Like sometimes, once a year, I'm like, I want to volunteer. Yeah. And then I look it up and I'm like, what is it? I don't even know how to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think when people know how to do it and they see I just go to that place and serve food or I donate money, they're willing to do that. If you clarify the steps and stuff like that. Same with like protests. I didn't know how to start.
Sure.
Usually I just drive through. Just kidding. So I just showed up and I was like, it's kind of awkward the first time. Like, you don't know what the fuck. You feel useless. You're like, I'm just a body. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like I'm doing enough here. But then eventually you see opportunities. Like, oh, maybe I check photographs to show a different thing that's happening aside from what the news is telling us.
Yes.
That's why people call you and go, oh, mobsters. Because that's all they see is the negative bullshit, the riots. And all these things are done to discredit the protests. Yeah. Because protests are really an efficient way to change things.
Yeah.
But then people that don't want that change will come and either like incite a riots or incite a looting.
Yep.
Just so they can discredit that whole movement. Yeah. And that's what I saw from my eyes. It's good to I'm happy that I was there in person to see this unravel.
Yeah.
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 And then it doesn't help that the person that's running our country is on the news side of things where it's like, you see all these awful things happening. It's like, did you come here to Minnesota and see it in person?
No. Yeah. I mean, he's Trump is just singing his, base's favorite songs. I don't even know if he believes in any of that shit. I think he's just a manipulative dude. Is like, if I say Law and Order once in a while, and every
time he says Law and Order here, like dun dun in my head.
I say all these like, oh, the suburbs are gone, shit like that,
Yep.
And then he just, that's he plays to the same people, and they love to hear the same shit, and But
so 6,000 families.
yeah, I think around that. I could be
That's
wrong, but a
bananas.
lot of people. And like, I mean, the line would be all the way down the block, and then it just like,
My boss, I overheard him talking to somebody saying that he brought his son to the city to show him what it was really about, to like show him what these things look like, because I don't want to give too much away about this individual, but he's seen stuff like that before, and so his son like automatically went to like burn it down and this and that.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, they're not just burning it down. Let me show you what's actually going on. So he took him to where they saw protests marching, and then on the other side of the street, there were people going and picking up, volunteers going and picking up garbage and cleaning things up.
Yeah.
So they ended up by where you guys were collecting stuff. And so that's when I was like, oh.
And that's what's happening, man. It's like exactly that. So you can see a very peaceful protest. And it's like really age driven too. I think the young, like my sister was like 18, 19. Like the younger people, they just have rage. And you need that type of energy. You need a little bit of chaos.
Yeah.
And you need a lot of peace.
Yeah.
You need the peace to like people to just go and protest peacefully, and then you need a little bit of that young energy, like fuck you, do something now energy to disrupt the power and to make people realize, oh, we have the power. Like at one point, I think everybody realized, oh, there's not enough army and cops for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the government really did not like that. And that's why they started doing like the curfews and all that stuff to kind of like scare people. It's a scare tactic to keep their peace, keep order. At the same time, we want order and stuff like that, but none of this exists if there was justice, Simple as that. It's like people just keep focusing on like the symptoms of like, oh, riots, looting, fuck all that shit. Just change this couple of laws, reasonable laws, and qualified immunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be somewhat just. Try at least to not shoot a black person every fucking 2 days.
It is crazy to me, like how minimal education an officer can have and carry the weapons that they do. But doctors, they have people's lives in their hands too, and how much extra schooling they have to do.
Think about like if I can recall the Breonna Taylor case, I think what happened is the person they were looking for was already in custody by noon. So they went in to knock on this man's door. He's already in custody. Then they went in, and then they shot the wrong person. Like that's how crazy it is. Like that's like even a DoorDash guy, even like pizza deliveries from Domino's take their job with more care, 100%. And all that's involved is pizza. So that's the problem. Is not. It's just like how careless are you about lives that you just didn't check if you got the guy, and then you went in the wrong place, and then you shot someone at their own home, and then you then like, okay, we can, that's the thing about having good laws is like, okay, when people take advantage of or do the wrong thing, at least we need rules to put them accountable, and then we don't even have that. But
if it was a regular Joe, like one of us going in and just randomly, like we would be in jail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even as a nurse, if I went to someone's house and I can say, but I'm a nurse.
Cops have way too much power. And that's really, it's scary. Yeah. I get scared to see these.
And my dad's actually a retired sheriff, and he thinks all of this is ridiculous. They're not like ridiculously like against police, but he cannot believe all the things that are going on and what they're getting away with.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That qualified immunity shit is insane.
Yeah.
You basically, you get away with anything. Say, like, if I came and I strangled you to death while you're standing, and then I go to court, and a year before that I strangled somebody else but they were on their knees, qualified immunity lets me get away with that by saying that, oh, I didn't do the same thing. You've never seen me break the law in that way because that man was on his knees and this guy was standing. It gets to like it's that powerful that they get away with it. And like I think the only person that changed that, or the only state, is Colorado. So like that was great. That was one good thing that came out of this. But then if they just do that across the board. And it's not just for like a black people thing. It's everybody. Like they can get away with killing any of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we had Clifton on a couple weeks ago, and
is he a cop?
and he was talking about how a lot of his friends, talk about bringing the establishment down and changing the government and all of these things. And the thing that I said then, and I will say it forever, is you can go to your county and ask to see what rules and regulations are in place for the police in your county.
Right.
You can go and make real changes, talk at city halls, and do things to make changes rather than the war machine that runs this fucking country.
Yeah.
Like, you have a way better chance of changing shit.
Yeah.
I think, too, that they should have, like, mental health experts going out to these calls.
Yeah, and that's what the defunding the police thing. I don't like the term defunding the police because it's always misleading.
Yeah.
And it makes it sound more ominous.
Yeah.
It should just say fund something else.
Something else, yes.
It's a positive term for it.
Because let's be honest, some people have fear of officers, which is very justified.
Yeah.
But if a regular, like me as a mental health person, comes in there and is talking to somebody who might be erratic, or they're terrified because there's an officer grabbing at them, at least I can try and have a conversation
and also,
with you.
from their end, I'm sure officers don't want to be doing fucking mental health work.
Yep.
No.
They have enough of that.
I can tell you
this.
this.
Like, I respect an officer's job to keep us safe, and I understand like crime is a thing, and we need police for sure.
Yeah.
And I want these cops to have all the funding they need to do their job, but nothing beyond that where there's like room for error. If someone is like a crazy guy, whatever, and I'm sure from their point of view, like they probably had to deal with that same person like 20 times before there was a conflict. In a lot of cases, that's the case, right?
Yeah, I see that.
But like, don't fucking, you shouldn't be burdened with that job. They should have, like, the conversation needs to be less fuck you cops, because you're only as good as the system that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Stop punishing people and stop punishing the system. You change the system, and then you can change the culture. Will just come second.
Yeah.
And if you have a system that's toxic, it's gonna draw some toxic people, right?
That's why education. They need more and more and more. Even mental health. They don't have enough mental health education. Like they don't just. Like, I'm just going to talk about the mental health. I'm not saying anything about George Floyd, like his mental health or anything. I think that whole thing, it was obviously they were pulling him over for something, whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid. But like with the mental health thing, it's like they don't know how to treat people who are struggling with mental health or even substance use. Like I see, like when I used to actually physically be in the emergency room, like hearing some of the things these guys would say, it was just like, these are people.
Right.
Like they're at the end of the day, they're people.
There's one crime, I think, violent crimes.
Yes.
Anything else is either addiction problem or like mental health problem. And not to say that these two things can't lead to violence, but when it does, go deal with it. But if it didn't, then these are non-violent guys. Like there's better ways to fucking deal with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I forget what country it is that has. There are like the way that we have EMTs, firemen, and I mean,
like first responders.
First responders.
Because usually when you call 911, an officer shows up first. Then, EMS, paramedics, and then firefighters always come out too. Those are like the big three.
But so there's this other. I keep wanting to say Poland for some reason, but I don't think that's it.
Notice that no one hates the fire department.
That's true.
Because what?
They're volunteers.
They just combat something bad. They don't go, you know what? That's a black house. I'm not gonna put out this fire. You know what I mean?
That is so wow.
So, yeah, dude. We will love you, cops, if you just fucking do the job and not be a piece of shit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this country has different types of police officers. So there's like traffic police. There's like
and that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
So those assholes that were
and a traffic cop shouldn't even have a gun.
Exactly.
Yes.
So like they are trained.
Maybe for safety, but like I feel
maybe
like
a taser. I think
But also I feel like if you're a traffic. But then what if someone has cocaine or some shit like that, and you need to?
Then the officer takes the cocaine and does it in his car later.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I don't know.
guys
I
are
don't know.
so
I feel
Like
like
deadpan. You did a great job.
yeah, maybe keep the gun. If you're a cop, you should have a gun.
But yeah, so that's the point of this country and the system that they implemented was like, if we shouldn't expect one person to be able to do all of these different things.
They can't.
I mean,
like,
think
to your
about it.
point,
In the hospital, you have nurses that are on each unit, and we are trained for
Yeah.
specific roles. Doctors, I mean, besides family practice, but you have GI doctors, you have endocrinologists, you have psychiatrists, you have all these types of different.
Right, and then that's what the argument of like this is systemic racism because they want it to be flawed. They want cops to have all these power. They want to put black men in jail at the rate that they are in. They want, you know what I mean? Crime is such a good way to influence people to vote a certain way. Like you think about now,
Yeah.
the economy is not that good. The president is a total shithead, but then he can play the law and order card.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
Law and order, fucking, it's been used way. Nixon used to do the same tactics.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's an old tactic. Is using crime to motivate fear to let people vote a certain way. So it's in place for a reason too, and that's what it at least feels like.
Yeah. And
Because I mean, the average American, I feel like we just all want to be safe and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and live.
Yeah.
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 I can't think of a single black friend that I have that hasn't had some type of racial profiling or some racist shit happen.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm light skinned and I'm an immigrant and I've been pulled over north of 20 and like been also arrested for a mistaken identity, like really lazy shit. They thought I was a Mexican man who was like double my age. Like it's they treat our life with so little value.
Yep.
Not all of them, and I've had some wonderful cops and stuff, but the culture seems, if you're bringing me dudes from out of town who live in Becker or whatever, and, you oftentimes I feel like, really like conservative views, and their media is like Fox and shit like that, fear-mongering bullshit. And then they go to training, and it's like warrior-style training where it's like us versus them.
Yes.
And they don't really know the community. They didn't grow up. They don't humanize the people they deal with. And then on top of that, you add movies and culture and all the stuff that led to this point in history. Of course, this is like a recipe. They're just one element of a giant recipe for injustice, and that's what happens. It's unfortunate. I had a buddy that I used to live with who wanted to be a cop, and he was from we were living in North Minneapolis together, and he was liberal and he liked dancing, and they just made fun of him, and eventually they said you're too trusting to be a cop, so he never became a cop.
Wow.
And he's the guy that made me feel hope for cops. I'm like, oh, if he wants to be a cop, it's great, man. He doesn't fit the profile of what I thought a cop would be. And he would be great. And then he didn't even get to be a cop. And that was his dream since he was a kid.
And it's interesting because I've met people in high school that became cops, and they became cops because they had like little power and people made fun of them. And they're like, now I'm going to get into a position of power, and you're going to have to respond to me. So a
lot of that is also men who are insecure and, like very small dick energy. I see with these cops. And it's usually just power hungry motherfuckers. And the problem is, like, if your idea of a man is like this toxic masculine dude who's like, I'm tougher than you guy, then it's a disaster because black men are stronger than you. And on average, they're gonna have a bigger dick than you. They're gonna have, you're scared of them because you're trained to be scared of them. Yeah. So they make you feel like less of a man. So a lot of times I watch a video and I'm like, oh, this is not even like a racial thing. This guy just wants to prove his manhood, and he's really scared of this black man, and he's insecure because he has these ideas of that man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like I have a joke now about if you have a micro penis, you shouldn't be in the force.
Yeah.
Because you have ulterior motives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. it's interesting.
I think it's just like almost like a caveman insecurity.
But there are also female officers that are the same way.
Yeah, these we call them lesbians.
Fuck. I was gonna say like I still hear people say some stereotypes are true.
Yeah,
and
the big dick for sure.
But I mean, like in that culture, in that like ultra bravado and us versus them, hearing people, I'm curious as to how many cops who are teaching the younger or the next generation of police officers are saying things like, look, it's not our fault. Most people that we're arresting are African American. Nothing we can do about that. And so if you're in this situation, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if that type of shit gets passed down as well.
Right. Yeah.
The one thing I like to do is I like to check the Stearns County jail roster. So that's like the St. Cloud area. And it's predominantly white men.
It's a bunch of honkies.
And women.
But that's the systematic part is like they super police poor like ghettos and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, obviously you're gonna find people selling weed. Crime is related to poverty. It's never been a race thing. And people, if you forget that, you're already bought into racism. It has to do with economy, right?
Yeah.
So if you're poor and you grow up in a poor environment and your school is poorly funded and your dad is in jail because of the drug war, then most likely you're going to engage in the same activities. And then now you live in a neighborhood where there's a bunch of cops who sometimes kind of get funding to their department by making a set amount of arrests and stuff like that. So yeah, it's rigged. The game is rigged. If they did the same amount of policing on like Maple Grove, they would make a lot of white. Like they would arrest a bunch of white people. But it's enforced and on the poor and the disadvantaged.
That's one thing. Sorry, my eyeballs keep.
You crying?
I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I get a lot of pressure in my eyeballs.
Yeah,
glaucoma.
But that's goes back to the point of you. Like, have you always wanted to learn how things work? Like growing up, were you always
growing
that
up,
way?
I'm the guy like would open like a cassette player, like trying to find like invent things, and so I was interested in like how things obviously like
deconstructing things.
Yeah, that, and I also like I have a child's curiosity. I'm very curious about the things that interest me at least.
Okay.
So I like to understand things.
Yeah, and so that's like that's one thing that's really apparent about you is you don't just go with like what the trend thing is.
Yeah,
you really dive deep on that stuff.
Yeah, and I like to take my own like just my own thoughts. I feel like that's a big part of why there's like this country is so divided. Is if you're waiting for other people to tell you how to think, you're going to think one of two ways. You're going to go the liberal way or like the conservative way. But the truth is somewhere like in the middle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like we're fed some bullshit and it's very, the agenda is a certain way and they are as well.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like, I like to... I don't mean like with Trump. I would just read his tweets and I watch his speeches, and that's how I make my mind of him. I'm like, oh, this guy's a total psycho.
Yeah,
I don't need someone else to tell me that.
Yep, exactly.
Fuck the influence from that's how I approach things. It's just like you should have your own unique thoughts on things.
Yes.
Well, and like the way that you do comedy too, like the success that you're having is like I can tell that there's.
It's funny to hear more success, and I'm like looking at jobs now, like I should DoorDash.
Well, I mean, obviously
that.
the state of things right now is fucking.
It's rough out here.
Yeah, it's tough, but like I think people look up to you because your version of what success looks like it's obvious the type of comic that you want to be perceived as. And that is like genuine, thought out, and funny.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. I honestly, speaking of success, it's from what I've seen, people that are like actually successful, I look at like the same thing of understanding why things are the way they are. I look at people that I go, this guy is a god in comedy. Like this guy's, I won't mention names, but like someone who he should be a household name.
Yeah, Jeff Foxworthy.
It's like, yeah. And then I see someone with like half the talent, and then I see that person more successful. So I go, why is this person successful, and then why is that person not successful? And then I'm around these people, and then I go, oh, I see a pattern. And then I meet another set of people that are similar, and I go, oh shit, now I know what makes success is really just you have to love the thing you do.
Oh.
You get the thing you do, you should do it because you love it, not because of a secondary, like I'm doing this to like get girls, or I'm doing it to get like some clout and fame, or you have to love, you have to buy into what you're doing completely, and then you just do that, and then things kind of come secondary.
Yeah.
And you have to have an extremely like good work ethic that doesn't just end on stage and write in a joke. The work ethic should you're the product. If you're a comedian, you're the product. That means your mental health should be in check. That means, like exercise and any form of self-love that you do is adding to your success.
Yeah.
So people are like,
Yeah.
like I do all the mics, and I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't end at the mics. What are you doing to grow as a person? Because you're the product.
Yes.
That person
Wow.
shows up on stage. So always work on yourself. Like that's what I see. And then the third thing is a lack of entitlement, a healthy amount of entitlement, but like don't be entitled to think you deserve anything, because that's where people get bitter, and that's why people don't make it. The people that I see that are like I was a fan of them before I even started comedy, and they've been on movies and whatever, and they never like broke past that level. They're bitter.
Yeah.
And they're narcissistic. And even at a smaller scale, somebody from this scene, I'll be around them and I'm like, wow, how come this guy doesn't get that? It's the same energy, bitter, narcissistic, and they just think they deserve everything.
Yeah.
But then they don't do the work past the stage
Yeah,
and whatever.
yeah.
And sometimes they don't even do the max amount of work on stage. And they just expect things to come to them. If you live that way, you never... I don't think
Chris's mom hates the word deserve. Like, I deserve this. She
no one
hates
deserves
that.
it.
Yeah. Well, we had
you deserve to do what you love, and that's what it is. I'm doing what I'm love.
Yeah.
We had an author on, what was that, Tuesday? We'll say last week since people are listening in. An author on last week, and she said you have to write the book, like not thinking of who's going to read this. You have to write it whether someone's going to read it or not, and put the exact same amount of passion in throughout that, because the marketability, all that shit happens after the fact.
Yeah.
All of that passion and like content, context is only going to be as important as the passion that you have for it.
Yeah, that's how things should be. And like people look for shortcuts and shit like that. Like, oh, what's trending? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might get that trendy popularity, but it dies as quickly as it comes.
Like the
to
Twilight
be.
popularity.
Wait, Twilight never dies?
Yeah.
The vampires can die. They can get shattered.
I'm working on a book too, by the way.
Really?
Are you?
That's a good note to take. I'm gonna think about that when I go home.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a good point of view to have. I've never done. I don't consider myself like an author or anything, but another thing I like to do is I always say yes to things, just to kind of see what the challenge is.
Wow. Yeah.
And someone approached me with an idea to write a book, and I was like, sure. and then I thought of an idea, and I was like, oh, this is actually decent. I would like enjoy doing this, and it's comedy related. I'm just gonna decipher my album and just write the behind the scene of the jokes.
Oh,
so I write the joke, and then I tell you how it was influenced and how it came about.
That's awesome. Well, that's a beautiful note to end on. I'd like you to tell people.
Next time I'll come back with my book, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then we can put it on our other wall. We're gonna have books. Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. This is the first author we had on. We're gonna have the other book soon.
Thank
Did
you.
you-
I'm sorry I blabbering about like the success thing because I always think of it and I never think I don't have a context and I don't want to
That's
write
why
a
I
post on
brought it up.
Facebook.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see a lot of funny new people come in and then as soon as they like the bitterness starts, they stop growing.
Yeah.
That was part of my downfall, man. Like I was putting in all of this work and I was like, okay, well, I've put in thousands of hours. So that must mean that now it's going to come to me.
But then
Rather
you weren't
than-
taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I wasn't taking care of myself.
Yeah.
A ton of assuming.
Which is also not really putting in the work. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah. And yeah.
And comedy is one of the it's a one-way street as far as love goes, right? You bring in love, you don't take away love.
Wow.
You get bursts of it from the audience here and there, but if that's what you rely on, you're going to be starving. Cuz you're the one who's making them have fun. If they were having fun, they wouldn't be there to begin with.
Yeah.
They're there so they want to forget their bullshit or like they're having a bad day or whatever. That's usually and seldom you see people that are like, I'm having fun, but they'll heckle the show and they'll be annoying.
Yeah.
I have a lot of
So you gotta come in
mind-blowing
with-
moments with this
Yeah.
conversation here.
Thank you. You just got to come in with a full tank and then you got to re-up that tank through like your relationships or exercise, meditation, whatever it is that helps you
Yeah.
feel better and come back in.
I think that you can use what you're saying too for other occupations too, not
For
just
sure.
comedy. Like
Absolutely.
you talking about that, it's like I could not be an effective mental health nurse if I'm not constantly working on my own mental health.
I
Like
bet.
I'm very open about it. I struggle with severe anxiety and depression, and like with the selling of our house, my anxiety was so bad. But I'm like, if I don't deal with my anxiety, I'm not gonna be able to effectively help my patients.
Of course.
So like constantly, but I like how you're wording all those things because it's like, yeah, if
it's
I'm
like
not,
you're doing a disservice to yourself and them.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you don't take
I'm
care
not
of
giving
you.
them 100% when they need someone giving them 100%.
Yeah.
But that, yeah, with every job. Yeah.
That's what it
I like
is.
that. Wow.
Absolutely.
You always come with something where I'm like, oh my gosh.
I love
Like the last time we
we
had you on?
open with saying the R word. And we'll do a Japanese accent and then we just.
Hi.
Oh, thank you. I love you, Chris.
Me and Chris. Maybe you can cut this out, but me and Chris like to do silly talks to each other.
Do you guys do? That's
What
fun.
kind of silly talks?
You start it. I can't remember the accent that we use.
Oh, that's fun. That's gotta be. You have to. I'm telling you. You have
You
to.
can't
Talking
do
about
it.
like where the schnacks thing came from?
No, like I can't think of it. We haven't done it for a while.
I don't know what
When
you're
we talk
talking.
with a lisp,
Yeah, that's where the schnacks
we
came.
lisp to each other.
Ah,
Hey,
lisp.
love you.
I know. That's adorable. That's what you gotta do.
You're just super cute. And I
Yeah,
just
you
think
so
you're the best.
nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
You gotta do that shit.
Yeah.
I do. I sometimes I go, I hope my neighbors can't hear me. They'll think I'm like a, you know what I mean? They'll be like, is Trump living in this building? 'Cause there's a lot of accents that come out of that apartment.
I love just thinking that that's what you're just doing at home. Like you're on quarantine or you're, COVID hit and you're just like, cool, I'm going to work on my accents. And you're
I
just
know.
constantly doing it. And you're,
It's like
your
a
girlfriend's
crazy
like,
person lives in
no. All right.
there. Good chat.
Neighborhood's going to shit. Oh, hold on.
Oh, shit.
We got to do the things. There's two things left.
Okay.
You got to plug all of your things. Why?
Oh, shit.
You got what's the name of the podcast? You got?
Does This Age Well? It's on.
So good.
You can watch it on YouTube, and then I have it on like Spotify, Google
Apple
Play, Apple Podcasts, all the good stuff. And then I have 7 or 8 episodes. It's every Tuesday it comes out with the video and the audio, and it's gonna be consistent. That's one of those things. Is like I'm not wasting time because every time it requires research and there's a specific topic, and then there's also like loose conversations that are just about life and stuff like that I share as well. So that's going to be consistent every Tuesday. I would appreciate if anyone comes in and join me and send me some, if you have any what's the word? Suggestions and stuff. Somebody left. I was reading the reviews from my old podcast, like with my mom.
Yeah.
And someone left like a really mean one, and it really bugged me. I was like, "What do you get off on?"
Yeah.
It wasn't even a fair one. Like you can tell the person is projecting.
Yeah.
But don't be that asshole. Like if you like something you listen to, we're available. We have an inbox. We have an email. Just hit us up, and we'll do our best to get better.
I'll end it on one movie
Yeah.
that I know aged well. Crossroads.
I've
The Britney
never
Spears movie.
I've never
Yep,
seen it.
definitely.
Crosswords about Britney Spears?
Well, Britney Spears is one of the actresses in the
Okay.
movie. Yeah.
She has did not. You know, I feel bad about her. Somebody told me that that's not even her voice.
Yeah.
I want I was like,
that's another whole podcast.
Yeah. That's so sad.
Wait a second. Where are you going?
Oh shit! I don't know, dude.
Okay, keep plugging. So you did the podcast.
Podcast at Ali Sultan Comedy on Instagram. I've been posting some sketches. I do clips of my stand up, and then I do like short clips of the podcast as well. If you kind of want to get a sample or a feel of it.
And then the album.
Album is Happy to Be Here. It's on, I think, Spotify and all that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Or Sirius XM if you have that.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the only reason I've been doing okay. Is the album is on Sirius.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is bananas.
I wonder if your parents have heard them then in the car.
Yeah, maybe.
I bet they'd be like that. Fuck.
I still think about that spitting mint into your partner's mouth.
That's fun. Did I tell you this? Some random guy I met in Utah when I was doing dry bar goes, "Hey man, that one bit, somebody does it on a boat or a cruise. Someone stole that joke from, I guess, the radio or something.
Are you kidding?
And is doing it on a cruise." I was like, this is the ultimate compliment. I got an old white man doing my
it on
bit
a
on a
cruise.
cruise.
God damn it, Mike Brody, stop stealing.
What if it is Mike Brody? That's hilarious.
Thing is, cruises aren't even going. So that guy, he's out of a job, but you're still working.
Well,
I know.
That's the joke, though.
But the thing is, I feel like on water, the rules change. You know, on land, you don't steal people's joke, but on water, anything goes.
Anything goes. I like that.
Fair.
Go ahead and survive.
Mike Brody does cruises?
Yeah, that's
like
why I said that.
like river cruises or like ocean
Just
cruises?
cruises.
Like big ass cruises where he makes a shit ton of money. You know?
Oh, okay.
He's killing it. Yeah. So the very
Disney
last
cruises?
thing.
Okay, sorry.
The very last thing that we do here is our listeners are called ducklings.
Okay.
So we say, "Au revoir, little ducklings, quack quack."
Or wild little ducklings, quack quack.
Quack quack.
Good job.